There are a few more audio effects I want to show you that I use often when editing. One of my favorites is the adaptive noise reduction effect. It's great because it can really help reduce certain background noises, and that's great because it allows you to focus on the dialogue that's being said. So in this case, all of the clips have very subtle background noises of nature because they're all filmed outdoors. But there's one particular clip, the last clip, that has background noise of a waterfall. So it's slightly distracting, and it's more evident that there's background noise in that one clip than any of the other dialogue clips. So we're going to reduce that waterfall noise. We will push the plus key on our keyboard and go to clip 44 here. I'm going to solo audio track 1 so that it's the only clip we can hear. Highlight audio track 1, audio 6L. We'll go up to the effects panel and type in noise, and in the audio effects bin, the adaptive noise reduction effect has showed up. So let's drag that onto audio 6L, and we'll just play that back.
To enjoy beautiful Nelson, BC, or you're exploring the surrounding areas, the ski.
So when you put the adaptive noise reduction effect on, it automatically uses its default go-to to adjust the audio that the effect has been put on. But we are going to customize this effect so that it really does the best it can with this particular clip. So I'm going to go into the effects controls panel here under adaptive noise reduction, click on edit. You can see it's currently set to the default settings. We'll move this dialog box up a little bit so we have access here. I mainly adjust the reduce noise by and the noisiness. Let's play this through and
to enjoy beautiful Nelson, BC, or you're exploring the surrounding areas.
So you may not be able to hear it as well through this lesson, but follow along with me. Adjust the reduce noise by all the way to 40 decibels. It makes a very slight difference. Let's also move the noisiness all the way to 100%, and we'll play that back.
To enjoy beautiful Nelson, BC, or you're exploring the surrounding areas.
Okay, as you go through this, toggle on and off when you make adjustments so you can hear the difference the effect has made. So with the noisiness at 100%, it feels, you can hear in the audio that it sounds altered. It sounds like robotic. It doesn't sound great. But you can also hear that the background noise of the waterfall is very much reduced. You can't really hear it at all. 100% for noisiness is too far. Let's bring it down to 60% and play that back.
In town to enjoy beautiful Nelson, BC, or you're exploring the surrounding areas.
Okay, I've pushed the spacebar to pause that. That sounds pretty good. We will keep adaptive noise reduction with the reduced noise by 40% and the noisiness at 60%. Let's close this dialog box. I'm going to go into the effects control, highlight the effect, push Command C on the keyboard, highlight the A2 track because this is a stereo track. Because these tracks are stereo, they give you the left channel and right channel to work on. And I'm going to Command V, paste the effect with the customization we did on the other side on A2. Let's go into edit just to make sure. Yep. Okay. So we'll unsolo that. Another couple of audio effects that I want to show you that I love. They're great to have in your arsenal because in certain cases you'll definitely need to use them. So one of them is called the de-esser audio effect. If you have someone speaking and they're very SC or slightly speak with a lisp even, when you use the de-esser effect, it reduces that SC sound. So let's go into the effects and type in de-esser. So it's right here. We'll drag that down onto the first audio clip, the audio 1L on A1 track. And we will play that back.
Welcome to beautiful Nelson, British Columbia, where people come for a visit and end up buying a home.
We'll go into the effect controls on the right here where it says de-esser and click edit.
This place offers everything from incredible ski and snowboarding hills to the best local beer you're ever going to try. Let's go explore.
And we'll keep it at about -40 right now because in this particular clip, the host isn't overly SE. But what you would want to do if you did have dialogue where the S sound is really standing out, you would use de-esser and you would adjust the threshold until it sounded less SE. So I'm going to close that dialog box and delete the de-esser. Another audio effect that definitely comes in handy in certain audio situations is de-hummer. There we go. I'll put this again on audio 1L. This is great for removing background hum noises. Let's go into edit. What you would do is
Best local beer you're ever going to try. Let's go explore this beautiful hidden gem.
you would adjust these points. So you'd click on these red curvy pointy lines here and you would move them around, which would adjust the frequency and the gain. You can also drag them down. That's going to really affect the sound of the host's voice in this particular occasion. You can move them up.
This place offers everything from incredible ski and snowboard.
Again, I know you're not going to hear the full effect of this audio effect on these particular clips because there's not a huge hum noise, but I wanted to show it to you because it's a great audio effect to use if you do have a hum that you need to remove or reduce. I'll close that, delete the hummer. Another effect I love using, particularly if there's dialogue being spoken and the speaker hasn't had any liquid in a while and you can kind of hear that spit noise when they're speaking. That's something that drives me crazy. It's a personal pet peeve when it comes to editing dialogue. And in most cases, if you're working with professional dialogue, hopefully the person speaking on camera will have water with them so that if that spitty sound happens while they're speaking, they'll have water to quickly correct that. So to reduce that crackly clicking sound that can come when people don't have moist mouths when they're speaking is automatic click remover. So let's put that on audio track 1, audio 1L, go into edit. You would adjust the threshold, toggle the effect on and off so that you can hear the difference. It's a pretty simple effect to work with, but it definitely comes in handy. I use it whenever that sort of spitty noise happens when someone's speaking, and it really, really helps. So I will delete that. So those are some of the effects that I use on the regular to make my audio sound better. I also put very small fades on all of my audio. I'll show you why. Let's go to this part of clip 12 here. Listen, so you can see here in the timeline that there's a cut here. Let's zoom in. There's a cut here. I'm going to play that and listen. It doesn't sound completely smooth.
We're going to try. Let's go explore.
You can hear that the host breathes and you can hear that it's a cut. So with my cursor in between that cut, I push Command-Shift-D and that creates crossfades on the audio. Let's drag those crossfades as small as we can. And now listen again.
Let's
see when you put the fade, the cut in the audio is much less noticeable. You can also go to the crossfade, hold down Shift on your keyboard, and then drag out one side of that fade. So that works for this clip. I'm going to hold down Shift and drag out the audio fade on audio track 2 as well. I also like to, at the beginning of every clip, have a fade. So again, we'll go to the beginning of the clip with a cursor here and Command-Shift-D. We'll drag that fade so it's not completely this small, but so that it fades up like so. We'll do the same to audio track A2. A3 and A4 don't really matter. We're not using those clips. We've got them on mute. We'll go to the end of audio 1L. In some cases, when you're pushing Command-Shift-D, watch out for this because it can happen without you even realizing. If you have the audio track highlighted when you're pushing Command-Shift-D, it will also affect the end of that track like it did in this case. In this case, it works fine, but just be aware of that because sometimes when you have audio crossfades on audio tracks, the audio from the first half of the track will bleed into the second half and overlap each other and it kind of sounds funny. So we will go to the next dialogue here Again, with the cursor at clip 43, audio 5L, push Command-Shift-D. And you actually have to click on the timeline here, Command-Shift-D, there we go. The first time it didn't work because I didn't have the timeline clicked. We'll drag this audio fade down.
If you're a hiker, then you...
Let me show you an example of putting this audio crossfade in between two audio tracks without reducing the size of the fade. Command-Shift-D. Oh, we gotta highlight the timeline. Command-Shift-D. Okay, so see how long this fade is? Let's play that back.
See, Nelson has trail.
Did you hear there?
Nelson has...
This audio is fading into this audio and vice versa. So they're overlapping a bit. That's why it's important to adjust the audio fade for each clip to make sure that doesn't happen.
Nelson has trails.
So we're going to do this for each cut in audio. And you don't want to leave the fade, as you can see here at the end of clip 42, audio 4L. You don't want to leave the fade going over the waveform where the host is still speaking here, because that basically just reduces the volume and fades out. So you won't be able to hear what the host is saying as well. So you want to drag it to the right where the host has finished what she's saying. You can follow along with me. See how this particular audio fade only shows up on the left side of this cut? What I can do is highlight it and drag it over to the middle. I'm going to copy that fade, go to the next part of the cut and paste it. Because it's a very small fade, we'll also go to the end of 34 and push Command V to paste that fade again. We'll go to clip 44, Command V to paste that fade, and we'll do the same thing on clip 44. And one thing that we also need to do is make sure the rest of the music is adjusted during the dialogue speaking. We didn't do that to every music clip in previous lessons. So let's drag out this music. Okay, the first track and the second track, we have worked on the audio volume in between audio volume of the music track during speaking, but the last track we didn't. So let's just zoom in here. We'll unsolo audio track 1 and solo audio track 5. We'll push the P tool, go over to this point in the waveform, and put a second point in the audio track and bring it down to -16. Let's play that back. Oh, you know what? Because that's soloed, we won't hear the speaking. So let's solo audio track 1 and audio track 2 as well.
The waterfront in Nelson.
Okay, that works. We'll go to the end of clip 44, get our pen tool, and put 2 points on the audio. Then we'll drag the second point back up to 0.
Place to swim.
Okay, that works. Go to the next dialogue clip, which is 44. Put a pen point there and there in the audio track. Bring this down to 19. Play that back.
Whether you're...
Okay, that works. And now the final dialogue clip, we will put a point there, and drag it back up to 0 and play that back.
Gem.
Great, and we'll also go to the end of this audio, end of this song, push Command-Shift-D to create a fade. We're going to add a logo in the next lesson to clip 29, and when we do, we will adjust the length of this final song. The next thing we want to do is click on audio track 5, push copy, highlight audio track 6, and push paste attributes. We'll go down to audio attributes, push volume, channel, volume, and panner, and push OK. Let's confirm. Yep, that has copied the effects we just made on audio track 5 onto audio track 6. That's great. So we will now push the 3 tracks that were soloed and unsolo them, and we'll keep audio 3 and audio 4 muted because those were the backup dialogue tracks. Great, so we will see you in the next lesson where we are going to be working with a logo in this video.